has like social media from what you've seen, affected people, especially in their walk with faith?
I think it's easy to have Facebook faith. Like,
Facebook faith.
I'm serious. Like, that's a stupid thing to say, but no, like, yeah, like, well, with like anything too, like you said, even with like politics or whatever, like, people will do it with faith too, and like, okay, I post verses sometimes and stuff, but it's like, so I'm not judging anybody who puts like a Christ-centered post out there, because I think there are good-natured people, because I'm like, sometimes like, this really convicted me today, so I'm just gonna, throw it up there. It really encouraged me today. So I'm sure that's what some people are doing, but I also think for sure, and probably people that I know better, that you're like, that is just not where you're really at. But they'll be like, yeah, like, oh, everything is sunshine and roses, and and put a bunch of, I don't know, what do you like, God memes or whatever, pictures or whatever, and quotes and verses. And it's like, that's all well and good if it's well intentioned. But if you're trying to paint a facade that isn't reflecting who you really are or what you're currently actually going through, then like, what is the purpose? Obviously, it's to present a certain way, and that's not God honoring. So it's like a waste of time.
That's why I'm really bad at social media right now. I have not been on there in a bit.
Sometimes that is just as healthy
really
and okay.
That definition of really bad at social media is the best.
I'm just never on it.
I'll check.
That's okay.
Every so often, I'm like, you know what? I missed the dopamine hit. And I go on, and then I realize I accomplished nothing.
100%.
I didn't find anything useful.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about deactivating them.
Same. I do that. Like, I think about that every day. Because I think social media makes the world like big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's like, it makes big problems and like, in a way of like, oh, but what about the kids in this country or whatever? Like, or these people out far away. It's like, I can drive 10 minutes down the road and find kids that need help, like really need my help. What can I do for those kids? Like, yeah, there's things that can be done. The same thing is with like, oh, did you see on the news that this happened in this small town? And like, that's sad, but that's towns. And like, they probably have Jesus preaching to them over there in that town in Alabama that we do here. Like, let their pastors take care of them. Like, because you're so distracted by the things that, and maybe it's part of it is like, you feel like you're having an impact just by knowing, oh, I'm sending good vibes your way or whatever. Like, so it relinquishes your responsibility because you can feel good about knowing about their suffering and wanting for their suffering. But then it completely negates you from dealing with actual people's suffering and hardships of the local. So like, I'm like, I wish that I just cared more about the people that live 15 minutes within my distance. And
because you can be concerned.
Yeah, because you can be concerned. You can be truly connected. And that's just one piece of the pie when it comes to social media. Of course, there's like the genuinity. Like, is it genuine what you see and what you post? You always post the best stuff or whatever. And then there's also the people that there's no, nothing holding you back. So people just slam people and say things, whatever, and like get into stupid fights that if you were standing in a circle, that probably isn't happening. But because it's on social media, you're just like, boom, throw out all that shade on the person. Like,
I guess it's like they say, like, don't say anything on social media that you wouldn't say to somebody face to face, right? Like, but I guess that could be like good or bad, right? Like, is that kind of to like to what you're saying? Like, you can be obviously like having fights or whatever that you wouldn't have out in public, probably like with somebody at the grocery store, but like, people are like, ooh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus on their Facebook page, which probably isn't convicting anybody necessarily. But like, would you share with them, if you ran into them on the sidewalk in your neighborhood, like, having the same kind of bravery that we do behind a keyboard or a phone is like a real thing.
It's like, I've told so many people about Jesus on my Facebook. And again, like, have you lived, like, because that, again, why are you posting it on Facebook? Maybe it's because you care for others, or maybe it's out of a sense of obligation that you know you need to, but you're going to do it the easiest way possible, which the easiest way possible is the least impactful. Like, instead of doing it the hard way and having that conversation, like when that server comes in to your table, like taking time and like seeing what's going on in their life. Like, why is your day going good? Like, why is it going bad? How can I pray for you? Like, if your prayer is answered, like, not glory to me, glory to Jesus, you know, like doing.
And we don't need,
things.
I don't know, because I'm not against social media. Obviously we have social media, but
I'm against it.
I would like to.
I'm still against it. I have it, but I hate it. Like,
I would like to think I can get rid of it.
I can.
But like the argument is always like the connectivity, right? And it's like, I don't know. This is probably a whole nother podcast, like social media, but the connectivity can go both ways. It's like good or bad, but we don't need it to be praying for people. And I think that like information for the sake of information does nobody any good. But if we're like, I can be praying for everybody that we've met in our ministries, and I don't have to look them up on Facebook and read all their posts and stuff and know specifically what's happening in their life to still bring it up to the Lord, which is probably the most I'm going to be able to do anyways, because I'm not connected to everybody that we've ever been connected to before. So I think that's still kind of like tying into what you were saying, but yeah, if we just want information, because then we know. We
could go on for hours about a rant about social media.
Yeah. You might have convicted me to find ideas. I checked last once on Instagram. I was just like, I'm gonna go on here. I looked at how many followers I had. It was like 666, and I'm like, yeah, I need to get rid of this thing. I was like, okay. That's all I need.
I had a similar experience. I ordered a meal at McDonald's and it came out to 666. And it convicted me in the moment, but I still get McDonald's. I just never got that meal shake combo.
That happened to me at Wawa right before a film shoot, and I just got off the phone like sharing Christ with someone who probably needed to hear it, and then that came up. I was like, "You're not going to scare me." It's like this wasn't me putting a spoke in the bike.
Yeah,
this
Jesus
was
is more powerful than 3 random numbers.
Good.
Yeah. I guess the final thought about like the internet is like you have these keyboard warriors for Christ, especially on like Reddit and whatnot. Yeah, I've every time if I ever find myself on Reddit, like I usually try to avoid it, but like you're just like, are these Christians? Like you read what they're arguing over, and it's just like, all right, look, like doesn't matter. Like stop slamming Lauren Daigle because of whatever. Like,
well, that's where
we
even
can crash
like
into judgment so easily and comparison, and just like it. There's not all bad to be gleaned, but there's definitely more bad than good.
Yeah, and then when you're reading even advice from the internet and everything, like you don't know actually what that person's life is like and what the fruit of their what their fruit is, like the fruit of their actions and everything. Asking like a mentor, like a spiritual mentor or a pastor, like one that like you're like, how can I trust this pastor? It's like, look at the fruits in his life. Like that's why in the pastoral epistles there's like, hey, does he lead his household? Like ask advice for people that you know, hey, the way that they walk with Jesus, I want to walk with Jesus that way. I can trust what they say. Whereas like Joe Schmo on the internet, that maybe it sounds good, maybe it doesn't, but you're like, I don't know whether to believe this or not. It's like, probably don't. Like, ask somebody else. Ask somebody in the locality of it. Like, ask somebody that you can see where their life is at. Because
that's such a great part of being part of like a local church, and why we would encourage people to like I think it's a blessing when people can worship online and stuff. And there's probably seasons of life where that's like a huge blessing for some people. But it's like, to the extent that you're able, get out there and physically be part of a local church, because they are like family, and there's that mentorship and discipleship aspect of it. And yeah, you do see genuinely so much more who people really are.
Yeah, I can post on the internet and give you all sorts of financial advice and be like, oh, a business should be run this way. And like, this is how you become a millionaire. And if you knew me in real life, you're like, why would I trust this guy? Like, this guy is not a millionaire for one thing. He doesn't own his own business. Yet if I listen to him on the internet, like, how do I know? You don't. But anybody that does know me knows you don't go to Nate for how to be a millionaire advice, like, or how to run your company. Like,
I guess I have to cross that question. Dang it.
Now you might be like, Nate, how do you have such a smooth head? Like, I got tips on that. Like, ruggedly handsome through baldness. Like,
Is there like a specific shampoo?
correct. A body wash. A 3-in-1 body wash. Just in case. I do wonder if shampoo works on your head hair and arm hair like the same. Like, does it give the benefits? Like, look at my arm hair. It's luscious.